Magic academies are one of the most beloved settings in anime, a school that is not your normal typical school, but this one just has uniqueness to it, with the addition of being able to use magic, of course. We also have low-class protagonists who are underestimated, which is the best part of the series. Today's video will be taking a look at 10 Magic Academy anime where the protagonist is overpowered. If you are new around here, then please make sure that you're subscribed to the channel with the notification icon turned on to stay up to date with the latest anime news and recommendations right at your doorstep. Now, without keeping y'all waiting, let us begin with the video. I'll start this list off with Magical Warfare. Now hear me out, I know this anime may have a predictable plot and rushed scenarios and weak characterization, which can make its enjoyment pretty underwhelming. I still kinda, however, enjoyed my time watching this simply because the main character, or the protagonist, was the highlight of the show for me. When you first get to know the anime, though, a protagonist saving an unconscious girl, then receiving powers from that girl, and then attending a special magic academy to train and get stronger, okay, I think that's your typical start like how many other shows begin, but getting into everything else may get you to start realizing whether this show was worth it in the beginning or not. The strongest sage with the weakest crest, an isekai series that is quite generic without much of a story to it, but it's simply described best from its title. A guy with a weak crest is overpowered. The crest Matthias received had to do with magic, and magic itself is pretty much a degrading factor from this world, as people who use magic are just weak and know only very minority of the spells, though Matthias, since he is the protagonist of the show, well, he can simply make it overpowered. From there, it's just all about no challenge really. He beats up demons attacking the school with ease, and nothing can stand in his way. However, fans of overpowered protagonists such as this can definitely find enjoyment from this.
なぜだどうしてここまで強いんだお前の戦闘が下手なんだよ
最高だ最高だ最高だ
Just imagine yourself being the odd person out of the classroom, fat, bully because you're a weakling, to then getting isekai to another world and becoming overpowered. It's definitely a great feeling, and it's exactly what happened with the protagonist Seiji in the anime The Fruit of Evolution. He finds a fruit in the middle of the forest where eating it granted him extraordinary powers, going from level 1 and ranking up so fast that he beat a tough boss pretty fast. The Magic Academy stuff, though, doesn't really happen until the second season, where he actually gets to be an instructor for a bunch of loser delinquent students. Now, anyone here actually remember the anime series called The Grimoire of Zero developed by Studio White Fox? I honestly really don't expect you to, because it was super underrated in the end, despite being entertaining in its own way. But the anime Dawn of the Witch is actually the sequel to The Grimoire of Zero, with new characters, and watching the first season is actually quite important to the story development. A student in the academy, being the protagonist, is the worst F-ranked in his year, and he was summoned to the headmaster's office, and she tasked him to venture out to seek his future into training somewhere in the south. It's quite the adventure you surely wouldn't want to miss out on, to watch the worst academy student somehow become the strongest magician. After witnessing the glorious anime called Mashle, Muscles, and Magic, truth to be told, who needs magic when you can simply use the power of muscles to achieve victory? Mashle, Magic and Muscles follows a boy named Mash, born without magic capabilities and abandoned until he was taken into care by an old man who wished to protect him and lived in the outskirts of town in the forest where no one will bother Mash. However, townsfolks, they hate people without magic, and when things got worse during a confrontation, Mash was tasked to actually join a magic academy and compete to become a, what is called Divine Visionary. Watch as Mash uses his fists against magic opponents and beat down stronger people who thought he would be no match for them. Oh my, how the tables have turned.
殺気立ってるじゃないですか。
Some teachers are labeled as the worst by the students, but they never would have realized he wasn't overpowered, being hiding his true strength in plain sight. The Magic Academy had a substitute teacher named Glenn take over a class for the time being, yet the students all felt that this teacher was a complete waste of their time because he wasn't really teaching properly, and even worse, he seemed to be pretty much terrible at magic. But yet, he is actually hiding his true powers, trying to act like a loser on purpose. But this anime follows three main protagonists, one with a troubled past, another who is captivated by a mysterious floating sky castle, and finally the protagonist Glenn, someone who is more than what meets the eye. The anime series UQ Holder is part of the Maho Sensei Nejima series, but instead of following the usual protagonist Nejima, this time it's all about the protagonist Tota, a weakling who studies under his master Yukihime but has absolutely no magic powers whatsoever. He's a weakling. We get it. Though that is until he licked her blood upon her dying from a sudden criminal attack where he became immortal. The blood granted him unimaginable demonic power, and it turns out there are others just like Tota, immortal beings called UQ Holders, and now he is about to embark on a unique journey to find them. Unbreakable Machine Doll follows the protagonist who failed the entrance exam of an academy, and while all hope may have been lost, there is actually apparently one last chance for him to beat the top 100 students of the academy for his opportunity at being enrolled and also earning that special title called Wise Man with a wish of a lifetime. Of course, he won't be doing this all on his own because accompanying him is a machine automaton doll named Yaya who will be fighting alongside him against others in intense battle situations and scenarios for a weakling like him to grasp onto victory. I'm seriously just itching for this to get a second season at some point and continue, but sadly there just isn't really enough source material for that to happen. But this glorious creation known as Talentless Nana deserves your watch. A secret organization dispatched a female girl named Nana Hiragi to attend a special school where dangerous kids or students with powers are said to be a threat to humanity, as she must now eliminate them one by one. Now the twist is, she has absolutely no powers and must use her brain and smart tactics to fool the other students, befriend them, and then also betray them in the end until every last one of them is eliminated. It's basically like a game of Among Us, but it's an anime. Now for the finale on this list, the recommendation would have to be none other than Black Clover. While this series is not really an academy of any sort, it actually does feel like one once entering the chosen Magic Knight Squadron and taking on epic missions and also training. It feels like a class trying to improve, and after all, each squad is actually ranked from best to worst, and it so happens that the protagonist Asta is selected and put in the Black Bulls, which is the worst in many people's eyes. Anyways though, Asta is the protagonist of Black Clover, and he doesn't really have any magic at first, and never really received his very own grimoire despite training hard every single day, building his muscle and physique. But one day, a mysterious black grimoire appeared right in front of him and accepted him, which had demonic power and also anti-magic capabilities, making Asta quite powerful against magic. Looks like you just made it to the end of the video and witnessed 10 Magic Academy, where the protagonist is overpowered. If I have managed to leave any anime out in particular that I thought would be great to share on the list, then please let me know in the comment section down below, as I'd love to hear your varied opinion, or just comment down below what you thought about the video in general, as I always appreciate the feedback. Enjoy the rest of your day, and I'll be seeing you all in the next one.